Greetings, welcome back to AlonzoBash Podcast, where art and culture meets activism. Today's episode is one you don't want to miss. We're joined by none other than the UK Soca Ambassador himself, TriniBoi Joocie. From a young pan player with humble beginnings to catching an unexpected buzz that changed everything, Joocie breaks down his incredible journey through music, culture, and perseverance. We dive into the story behind his viral hit, Bottle Overhead, the impact it had on his career, and how he's been representing soca on an international level. He also opens up about his experience on The Voice UK, the challenges of navigating the industry overseas, and what it really takes to carry Caribbean culture to a global stage. This is more than music. This is passion, identity, and purpose. FYI soca lovers, just in case you missed it, check out our past episodes with Allison Hines, Terry Lyons, Lord Nelson, and more. So sit back, relax. Real people, real conversations. AlonzoBash Podcast starts now.
Greetings and welcome to AlonzoBash Podcast. I'm your host, AlonzoBash, and of course, man, once again, like I said, 2026, new year, new guests, ready. Today's special guest, man, we taking a trip to the UK. Ain't got time to waste, man. The brother is here, TriniBoi Joocie. Welcome.
Blessings, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. What is you know? Back champion, road match champion. How many soca monarch? How many road match?
So 3 road matches, and I want to say 4 soca monarchs, so 2 groovy. I want to say, I think it's either 4 or 5 soca monarchs, so 2 groovy and 3 power, or 2 power and 3 groovy. I can't remember, man. But I stopped competing.
Yeah.
I want to say like around 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the reason for that?
Just looking at the brand, looking at, actually my okay, so I actually felt like within the UK, within the soca scene, especially like outside of Trinidad, one of my things was to always advocate for the culture at its highest level, promoting it in a way as if you were in Trinidad or the other respected Caribbean islands. So when I did competitions, it was about putting on a production that is of a magnitude as if you were in the Caribbean. And I just felt like I did enough within that space, and the next sort of venture or drive was to, okay, how can I now take this brand, take this genre and put it into spaces within the mainstream entertainment world over here and push it to the best of my ability. So that kind of shifted, the focus,
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. All right, so let's get into your backstory real quickly. So your mom is from England and your dad is from Trinidad, yeah?
Mom will be vexed to hear you say that, She not from, she ain't gonna say she from England. Mom was born in England, but she grew up, went to school, studied, worked, everything in Trinidad. So mom left here at the age of 5, moved back to Trinidad, where she had myself and my other siblings. But my background, I'm a real life Palau, as we say. Mother's side, my grandfather was Nigerian, grandmother had Venezuelan roots, but Trinidad. And then on my father's side, it's Spanish and Portuguese ribs, and I was born in Trinidad and left there at a young age.
Okay. So you, from what I understand, you grew up in the Laventille area?
Yeah, so we born around the bridge. I was born, I went to school in Piccadilly, Lane, so the bottom of Laventille. But my father lived in Arima. So 98 was the biggest pan upset where I was playing for Newtones in Arima. Clive Bradley was living by us, by my uncle. Pan is the thing that changed my life, is the instrument, is the tool that, that changed my life.
Yeah, well, they mentioned Newton, of course. That's in my community. I'm born and raised, so Newton's right next to Yummy's Bakery right there. I'm very familiar.
Right, boy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, small world, right?
Very small, man. You bringing back some memories. I remember I used to take Daddy Bob's coins under the bed and go buy yums and get some the sausage roll, boy.
Yeah.
Remember the?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that was the days, man. That was the days.
Yeah, man. Nice. All right, so once again, you mentioned Newtons. I mean, Newtons, one parameter. At that time, you were the youngest. What was the term?
Yeah, the youngest pan player who was a part of the biggest upset pan history, with high mass, new
Yeah.
tunes. So I was playing, I was on all the papers in the country. It was like this phenomenal, this little boy playing pan. And at that time, if people remember, pan is really was at the time like a business for a lot of people. So they didn't really have space for kids, as big men was playing pan in order to make
Yeah.
money to provide for their families.
Right.
I was really blessed in being able to play, and um in playing, I was seen by Pepe Francis, who is the owner of the band Ebony Steel Band, and Dudley Dixon, a world renowned pan tuner. He was like, look, I want him to come to London. Actually I had two requests. So somebody came in from Germany
Yeah.
and somebody came in from England. And yeah, my father was like, nah, if he goes, you have to take his brother as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, the rest is history. I mean, when they came and they were like, yo, we want you to come to London, it was like, okay. And we had British passports,
Yeah.
because mom took it out from small. So we was around the bridge, grew up in what they would regard one of the hardest spots in Trinidad and Tobago. And we had this, passport, we had this jewel there just waiting to be unlocked. I
Yeah.
was very grateful, for that opportunity.
So how you got involved with pan at such a young age?
You know what? I was very energetic, as I am now still till this day. Actually Bradley was living by us, as I mentioned, Clive Bradley.
Yes.
I was very excuse what I'm about to say, but I looked at him and I thought, why is this vagrant talking to me? And he watched me because he was living by us, right? He was on the hammock
Yeah.
and it's just soup and rum and music. And he said to me, little boy, you have all this energy. Why don't you go and play pan? And I watched him like up and down, like, who is this?
Yeah, who's
This
you?
man, yeah,
Yeah.
like, who is you? Not realizing, and it so happened randomly, I was quite short, so I took two carb crates and I
Yeah.
stood on it and I got the pan. And honestly, I just used to listen every night and I just started self-taught, and I was blessed to be able to learn the song. And, yeah, everything happens for a reason, man, because when I actually got to play, they put me like in the back on a rack, like down in the back, I guess, facing the next side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it so happened that the newspapers and everybody found me. And because of that, now for Champs in Concert, they had to put me in the front. And obviously, when they put me at the front of the band, that's where I was seen. And,
Right.
so pan happened for me organically. I can't even say, nobody actually taught me how to hold the sticks or how to play. I just looked, I
Wow.
observed, and it was
Yeah.
self-taught, man. I was blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was in maybe 1998 or so, right?
Yeah, 1998, yeah.
How old were you back then?
Guess what? I was 8 years old. I was 8.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, 8 years old. At the age of 8, yeah, I was 8 years old, man.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 year old. Boy, I'm blessed, man. And I'm very grateful for that, because I don't know how it happened, but I guess when things are meant to be, it happens, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. All right. So at the age of 8, 9, at this point you migrated. I would say migrated to England,
Yeah.
West London. Am I correct?
Yep. Correct.
Okay. So what was that transition like? I mean, grew up in Trinidad at this point. Now a whole new environment. What was that? What was that transition like for you?
Man, I hear today. I cried. If I could remember, I cried for 6 weeks every night. Nobody knew. I cried.
Wow.
I hated it. I missed home, because imagine, like, I now left Trinidad, and obviously
Yeah.
the time when I left, it was like I was in the papers. There's people around. It was this attention. It was like I was
Mhm.
a local celeb now, and it felt good. And I was like, no, this is life, and this is what I want to do. I want to build and
Yeah.
grow. And moving to the UK is a complete contrast, because when I come here, back home is vests and shorts and slippers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas I come here now is socks,
Long
is
John.
long johns,
Yeah.
is jumper,
Yeah.
is jacket. Do more. You know what I mean in life.
Yeah. All right. So you went to school, or I believe you got involved in the arts. You still you played pan over there as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I moved over, I played with Ebony Steel Band for 25 years. I want to say I won numerous panoramas with them. Toured with Billy Ocean. Toured different countries around the world with pan.
You know what?
But
You mentioned Billy Ocean, man. I might have talked to you, after the interview, though, man, because I have a bone to pick with Billy Ocean, man, but please continue.
um, so we would have so when I moved up, yes, I did primary school, secondary school, college. I got um 17 distinctions, so I got like outstanding grades, so I got a scholarship to
Okay.
university. where I studied in the Mumford University. I studied performing arts and teaching and leading because my experience at that time when I first moved to England it wasn't pleasant. I experienced real life racism, teachers being abusive, saying things. And when they realized that I wasn't just a black boy, another statistic, and they realized, wait, outside of school, he's touring with Billy Ocean, he's a musician. That's when I saw the shift in how they treated me.
Yeah.
And that was my sort of, educational journey. I have a honors degree, bachelor honors degree. Yeah.
Nice. Also, you also went to school with Ola Tunji too, right?
Yeah, so that was in college. So
Yeah.
when I was at college, so I was very active when I was younger. Like I did a lot of stuff. So I used to play semi-pro football, as in soccer. I used to dance as well. I was part of a production company, so I used to be performing as a dancer. Actually, I was trained in ballet, jazz, tap, contemporary.
Serious?
Yeah.
Your
And
resume is
in
boy.
uh
Your resume is serious, boy.
yeah. And in doing all of that now,
Mm.
it's when I linked up Tunji. It was like another Trini. At the
Yeah.
time, I didn't obviously he wasn't who he was, and it's another Trini and this guy, and we became very close. And he sort of encouraged that cultural expression. I guess is when I went to university, and that's the first time I was away from like the panyard, or I was away from culture.
Yeah.
That's when I started to pen and started to write, and because I couldn't go back to Trinidad, I couldn't come back for Carnival, so
Yeah.
I started to pen about my experiences and how I felt, and that sort of sparked
Yeah.
the TriniBoi Joocie.
Yeah. Nice. All right. TriniBoi Joocie, how that name came together?
TriniBoi Joocie, you know what? I've always been proud of, being Trinbagonian, being a son of the soil. I believe that, without culture, I'd be an empty vessel. So culture has been my strength through difficult times. It's also been a weakness at times if I don't feel like,
Mm.
I am doing my best to raise awareness. So, the Trini boy has always been, foundational, but the juicy part, I wanted to be different. I had this thing with French, and I was like, the way I want to spell my name, not juicy as in Juice. I wanted to spell it like Joocie, Juicy. That's what I
Yeah.
had in my mind. And I was like, juicy, I wanted to be like it Moorish now. It's like, boy, that juicy boy, I want more of that, and I always use that analogy where I say similar to like a mango, when you suck that mango and the juice flowing through your hands, it's like, I want more of that, boy, and I wanted to make my music like that mango juice, where it's Moorish, it's more, you want more. That's where it came from, TriniBoi Joocie.
Nice. All right. So I've never been to the UK, and been planning for a while. Been planning. So for folks, many of folks here, of course, I'm based in the US, so have never been to the UK. What is the vibe like? What is the Caribbean vibe like in the UK? And what is the difference between West London and other parts of London?
What I would say is, I mean, now compared to 10 years ago or 15 years ago, it's completely
Yeah.
changed. I think because a lot of people are more traveling now to the different islands, they're able to go and experience it. They are bringing back the music, whereas before it used to be certain people would go and experience it and then bring it back, and then they would learn, whereas now everybody's sort of like accessing it themselves, so they're quite up to date. London is very unique because the diaspora that's quite big here, I would say, is we have a heavy Jamaican presence, we have a heavy Grenadian, Trinidadian, and then now you have Barbados, you have the Lucians, but you
Yeah.
also have a lot of Dominicans now coming up.
Okay.
What I would say is that it is very multicultural. A lot of people are the islands tend to mix, so when there's events and stuff, all the islands would come together. And then obviously that means it's different compared to different cities now. So you have like West London, I would say, is the hub. West and South London is like the two hubs of the culture.
So that's like New
But then
York,
if you take
like
huh?
Brooklyn. So it's like Brooklyn type vibe.
Yeah. It's like a Brooklyn. Yeah, it's like a Brooklyn. And then you have like outer skirts where people are tapping into, but they may not be as up to date with the music as
Yeah.
much as the people in London. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. All right. So let's talk about the music. So when did you decide that, you know what, I want to create? You mentioned TriniBoi Joocie, create the brand, and soca is where you want to tap into.
Actually, so I started in 2009, penned I penned and co-produced my first song, Beast in Me. And it was a song that I wrote, not being able to go back home, but I am I'm here in the UK, and I was like, the lyrics was like, we boastful, we bashless, we cause and pure madness, they can't contain we know, they can't contain the wildness. So if you see a tree drop and climb it, and if you see a girl run and wine it, and that you see what you're dealing with, if you buy a drink, then you're spilling it. Girl go the beast inside real power now. It was like,
Yeah,
you know, and so that was one of my first songs I penned. And prior to penning an actual song and structuring a song, I was a huge fan of lyrics.
yeah,
People like Bungie Garlin was like a
yeah,
hero to me. People like Styles P, D Block, I love them because of the lyricalism. The way how they write. Shadow, Mighty Shadow. Like his
right,
lyrics, the things he spoke about. So I used to write like freestyles
yeah,
basically, and I used to do that over different genres, different beats. And then I realized that I was good at it. People was like, "Yo, you real? This is you, but you're bad, you're bad." But I didn't know how to structure. So when I went to university, I started to work with I worked with a young musician called Mishak, um, and also DJ Shiny, who is linked with Olatunji.
yeah,
And he sort of like assisted me in, in playing soca rhythms. And then he was like, okay, there's the verse, there's the chorus, and then I started to pen.
yeah,
Big up people like Iron Fist Productions, big up people like J Presley Button. So these are like producers who I worked with at that time that didn't teach me how to do it, but they guided me. They
yeah,
supported the journey. And yeah, I said I would create a soca mixtape. So similar to like how you have a freestyle mixtape,
yeah,
I had a soca mixtape. So I had a few original songs with
mhm,
original productions, but then I also had people rhythms, and I made my songs over it like a mixtape. And yeah, that's sort of like, I had posters around all over from
mhm,
barber shops to restaurants, and it was this big bang, like, who's this dude? He has CDs out.
yeah.
He has this poster. Who is this guy? And I was really big on the marketing, and that kind of, sparked and ignited, TriniBoi Joocie and, the artists.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe a lot of people know your music. I mean, you have a lot of music, yeah, a lot of songs. I think what it is, a lot of people might be able to connect the face with the tunes or what have you.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm gonna talk about some of your songs, man. I mean, Investment, one of your latest. It have an
yeah.
upbeat type of vibe to it, a kind of Afro soca type vibe to it. Of course, one of your biggest tunes, Bottle Over Your Head. Now, that song, I understand that song was indirectly influenced by Major Hype.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It was because
Right,
Wetty was cussing me. He was
right.
so Wetty Beats is the co-producer for the song, the co-artist on the song. He's
Yeah,
actually one of my right hand, one of my brother. He's a brother. He's family. You know what I mean? And yeah, we went over there. So prior to Bottle Overhead, we had a song called Obia that was big.
yeah,
It was big like in Europe. It was big over here. It started
mhm,
to get played in the Caribbean, and
yeah,
we were like, yo, we need to do something completely different.
yeah,
So when I went into the studio, a lot of people said to me, "But you see, you have all these songs, but you have no pan in your song. Like you's a pan man, you had to put pan, you had to put pan." So I
right.
said, "All right." So that was there subconsciously in the brain. So we went
Yeah,
into the studio, and it was like there's no inspiration, there's no vibes. We're looking at videos, we're looking at things, and then I came across Major Hype doing the Bottle Girls in the clubs in New York.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "Yo, bottle over your head."
Mm,
And then I was like, we were in the studio, and I was like, yo, let me name things that people drink. And it could be
right,
water, it could be rum. We had something called Old Nick, which is like a cheap French rum. I was like,
right,
it could be water, it could be rum. Everybody, Hennessy, everything going down. And it honestly, the song built right there on the spot, like within half an hour. Song, and yeah, it was, we actually had the song for a year before we released it.
really.
Yeah, we had it. The song was ready by 2000. The song was ready 2018, and I
Yeah,
was like, "Nah, let me hold it." And
yeah,
then it was the end of 2019, like September, October, September times. I was like, "When we release the song, let me drop a video for it." So we
yeah,
did a quick video. And then obviously COVID hit, but I came to New York. I was like, I had this mastermind. I was like, everybody's saying you had to come to Trinidad, you had to bust it tune in
right,
Trinity, you can't.
mm,
And I was like, bro, let me rearrange this thing. Let me try and change this thing. And what we did is that we targeted a lot of the DJs in the States, a lot of the key DJs in different positions,
Yeah.
send them freed up plates like in advance.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we send out the song. And I did some promo. I went Trinidad, I came back, I went to the States, I came back. We knew, like, I knew this song, I wouldn't lie to you. I knew this song was special. I knew there was something different about it. And when we released it, I'll never forget, I was on Boom Champions and
Yeah.
5-Star Key was like, yo, there's no England, you know, because normally I go in and I'm like, very reserved, I have a new release. Yeah. But I was like, yo, let me know if this song is a hit or if it's garbage. And he's like, Joocie, there's no England, you know. I said, bro, play the song. And then he played the song. And then I said, open the lines. Like, you let people call in. And I promise you, the station crashed. The amount of calls they received. And then the line, like the lights was just light up. And they were like, yo, we've never seen this before. And I remember a guy called and he was like, yo, that song is good, but it's missing a climax.
Yeah.
And then the next person called back and said, hey, you see the last one? Let's go in the pharmacy and get some tablets for that climax, because it seemed like it's he problem. From then, I knew that, you know, it started to create a buzz. You know, they started calling me Joocie Trini Juice, TriniBoi Joocie, They call me all kind of name because they didn't know the name. But the song just went on, and you know, the rest is history, man. You know?
Yeah, man. A big up 5-Star Akil as well, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Big up to you know, his new transition into his life. So you mentioned the song took off. You also wrote a couple of songs as well for other artists. I want to again that you clarify the whole mix up. I want to say the mix up. The song with you and Mical Teja. I want to start no back now, but the song
I like, you know, you're doing research, but it is.
hey, that's what I'm doing for, man.
Oh, you're easy, boy. You're sharp. What? Nah, man.
Yeah. So I'll let you, you know, elaborate.
Yeah. Actually, even prior to Mical, one of the first people that I wrote for, but things didn't work out, was Machel, actually. So in 2011, when we had the first SOE, the same song, Beast of Me, that I wrote, Machel wanted the song. So I came back to Trinidad for like 3 months under them, under the HD camp. And, you know, things didn't go to plan. And I was very, I didn't believe in, you know, selling your song. I was like, nah, I sing my own song. If you like the song, then we could collab. You know, I was kind of like that in that space, you know?
So what happened was he wanted to buy the song from you, but you wanted to be part of the project.
Yeah, essentially. He wanted to buy this song, and they actually wanted it for Soca Monarch and Road Match.
Okay.
So it was a big thing, and you know, back then Soca Monarch was like 2 million. It was like a big deal. So that's the year he sang Pump the Flag. He was actually meant to sing Beast in Me. You know, so Colonel Roberts had.
Let me ask, though, you know, it's a teachable moment, right? You have to give an exact figure, but when somebody offered to buy a song from, especially like a Soca, what numbers we're looking at here? Because like you say, Soca Monarch, you win Soca Monarch is like what, 2 million or 1 million or so? I can't remember the numbers.
Well, that's in Trinidad. Obviously, they would have percentages, like you have to give back. At the time, it was gosh, I can't remember. It was William Monroe. I can't remember what the committee thing was, but I think you have to give back a percentage back to them. You have to come back the following year. Then I don't know how the tax thing works. So you know, I don't know how that works, but the number he offered me, it wasn't, I wasn't happy with it, you know, because I know my weight. I was like, nah, man, the you is, you know, like for me personally, you know, it was kind of, I did take offense to it because I was like, yo, if, you know, I'm comparing the bigger picture now, you know, like if you enter this is what you're gonna get and this is what you want to offer me, you know, but obviously that's not understanding the business at that time and understand how things work. So it didn't work out. That situation didn't work out. And to be honest, from that moment, I knew I had something, because if the Michael Jackson of the of the genre is interested in what I'm doing, 100%. I knew that, you know, I was on something that was different to everybody else. So, yeah, my pen was quite sharp from young.
Pardon the interruption. Now a word from our wonderful sponsors.
Imagine floating on the Chesapeake Bay, waves gently lapping, stress melting away. Now picture this, a spa but make it nautical. Welcome to Be Well Boats by Floating Needs. We're not just boats, we're floating sanctuaries of bliss. Drift away your worries with a massage while cruising the coastline. Choose from dockside, open water, or beachfront wellness experiences. Aromatherapy, hot stone massages, henna, scalp treatments. We're redefining relaxation. Why settle for ordinary when you can float to extraordinary? Perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, bridal parties, even waterfront weddings. Located at Canton Waterfront, Baltimore. Ready for your aquatic escape? Call 844-727-BOAT or visit floatingneeds.com. Your relaxation awaits.
Shipping nightmares? Not anymore. Let me spill the tea on stress-free international shipping. Jay's Hassle-Free International is the game changer you've been waiting for. Air, ocean, Caribbean, Dominican Republic. They've got it all covered. And those special rates? Absolutely amazing. Full container or just a corner, their prices will make your wallet do a happy dance. No more headaches over complicated shipping. Just call the shipper lady at 443-927-5816 and watch your worries vanish. Trust me, once you try Jay's Hassle-Free International, you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. Wave goodbye to shipping stress and hello to smooth sailing. Serving Pennsylvania, Delaware, and the DMV. Remember that number, 443-927-5816. Your stress-free shipping journey starts now.
Yeah. All right, nice. Yeah, I mean, these competitions is very important, man, because like I said, these are things behind the scenes that people not privy to or may not really understand how it works. And of course, for someone who may be listening, thinking about getting into the songwriting space and so forth, they need to understand how these dynamics work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so we skipping it back to Mical, Teja, now.
So how the Teja situation was interesting. So this is after, so obviously I would have already had Bottle Overhead. So the song we're talking about is Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So it wasn't called Hall of Fame at the time, it was called Right There. And so Teja actually reached out to me. He called me, he's like, yo, Joocie, because I was in a session with him prior, where I co-wrote on a song with him and Mark Hardy. At the time I was doing some stuff and something for Rupee and just different people I was in that space writing. And so he reached out to me randomly. He's like, yo, Joocie, I have an idea, but I need you to help me to build on it because I feel like this is more your pocket. And I was like, okay, cool. So when he sent me like a skeleton idea. So then I wrote my parts, sent it back to him, and he's like, yo, like this is a collab. Like we're gonna release it as a collab. So I was like, yeah, man, it makes sense. So obviously at the time, Teja he had songs, but nothing had connected on that level. He's written for people, which was obviously bigger. But him as an artist, he didn't really have anything that, in my opinion, at that time, like he wasn't the household name, as yet. And then, time to release, I got a call. They say, boy, he say, boy, I don't know. The team saying three of them say I should, I should do it alone. And one of them say we should do just a collab. And I was like, yo, when it comes to Trinidad, and this is where I say, like, as something to educate people, like when it comes to Trinidad, I think the downfall is some people think about just the country, you know what I mean? They don't think outside or bigger or, and I don't know, I can't speak on where other people's perception was or where they thought it could go, but they just kind of advised him that basically he should sing it as a solo song. And I was like, bro, go ahead, man. Like, you do your thing, consider that a blessing from me, and I, we did the connect, the link good, you know what I mean? And the rest is history. I guess Hall of Fame is what actually ignited his then, steps to then go into the DNA was the year after. And then, he went on. So I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. But
the funny thing is, that song Hall of Fame, this is a true story. So I also host events as well, right? So I was doing an event, and that was the first time I met Mical Teja. And I remember after introducing him to the audience, because I was hosting the event, I went to him about 3 times to get his name correct. I keep messing up. I was like, "Oh, you pronounce your first name?" He said, Mical, Miss. We laughed about it, but I finally got it right at the end. But very cool youth, man. Very, very humble youth, man.
Yeah, man. Super talented, man. Super talented. Like he's amazing at what he's done, what he's doing, and I wish him, I wish him all the best, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes I believe that it's about like the way how I think and how and my whole energy and my vibe is like sometimes you have to bless people and in order to allow them to do what they need to do, and your blessings will come,
Yeah, true. All right, so
Yeah.
let's talk about The Voice UK. How that came about? What was the moment you decided, you know what, I go and partake, partake in this in this event, and of course at that time I think was the first time I really seen soca on the UK mainstream like that.
Yeah,
So they-
yeah. So what happened is they had so prior to COVID, so COVID came and it sort of like everyone else, it
Yeah.
messed up a lot of my plans. I mean, I had like 54 international shows lined up that
Yeah.
year, from all over the continent, like all over the world, and yeah, COVID just sort of just that mash it up, and I was there and I was thinking, boy, you're in that space of what else do I need to do? And outside of music, I'm actually a deputy head teacher. I'm a secondary school teacher, right? So it's something else that I do. Other than work in that sense, I was like, there needs to be something else. And it so happened. So they called and I was like, nah. They called me, they're like, yo, hey, we no, actually somebody had messaged me on Instagram and they were like, hey, I'm a talent scout and we love what you do. Would you like to audition? And I was like, no. And then they called me and I said no. And then they called me a third time.
But why you say no? Did you
Because
realize who they were connected to, or were there some random,
no, it's
local?
just
Hmm?
I had this opinion of these talent shows are very manufactured now. Like the artists
Yeah.
are not authentic. They sort of like it's so corny and what they do and they're not in control and just having this negative opinion. So I was like, I don't want to be that. But when they called me the third time, they got this person to call me and the person vibe was so vibrant now. They was like, hey, TriniBoi Joocie, how you do? And I was like, and they were like, hey, look, we love what you do. And I just said to them, my first thing was, if I come on this show,
Yeah.
these are my terms, One of my terms is that I'm coming on the show as my artist name, TriniBoi Joocie,
Yeah.
because that's the brand I've been building over the years. I
Yeah.
said, if I come on the show, I'm singing original songs. I'm not a gimmick. I'm not singing, Who Let the Dogs Out or Mambo #5 or, no, or Feeling Hot Attack. No, I told them straight, like explicitly. And they were like, and that's no offense to those songs. They're legendary songs. But I just, wanted to create my own path. You know what I mean? And they said, yeah.
Mm.
So it was a no-brainer from then. And then they called me back a second time and they were like, yo, we need to can you do an audition over the computer? I was like, yes. And I was like, what would you wear? And then I went upstairs and I bring on a little two, 3 shirts. I change up. Yes, this is it. They were like, yes, this is it. And then they invite me down. So there's multiple stages before you even reach TV, So there's like 5 stages before we even get to
So that'll make sure you're ready.
yeah, so so when I went in, I had an audition to the execs. I had to sing with a vocal coach to see if you could what you had. And
Yeah.
it was like I smashed it out of the park, man. They for me, I knew that what I was bringing is what they would have never experienced in their life. I'm working with seasoned musician who's never played this genre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously when we were rehearsing as well, and the way how I'm interacting, because I do a lot of band work. I have my own band over here as well. So it's like I'm telling him, look, play this chord for me, play it like this, do that. They're in awe because they're like, this guy is serious. Like he knows his stuff,
Yeah.
And I just went from strength to strength. There was a lot of bacchanal behind the scenes.
Sometimes the actual show is behind the scenes, though.
A lot of and this is no offense to them, but there's a lot of like diluted racism as well too. And it's not me talking bad, but it's me actually raising awareness because it's like even with like wardrobe and stuff, like they brought out a lot of like African print and that shikis and stuff, and I said, hey, in Caribbean it's different, and then they came back with Hawaiian shirts and pineapples and palm trees, and I was like, yo, so there was a lot of schooling, in in this journey as well too. And
It's like I'm on Google Caribbean stuff on this or Black African and just bring out the wardrobe.
It's and the thing you see with me, as you can see, I'm very expressive and I'm very direct too. So when the lady had brought it, I was like, she could tell from my face I wasn't happy, and I said, this isn't. I'm not wearing. I don't feel comfortable wearing that. That's not what this is. You know what I mean? And I had to teach, so even in my journey, whilst people might have seen, he's on TV and there's millions of people and, I was the most streamed artist, the most viewed artist, the most interacted artist on that season, and I'm talking, we had over 70 million people was tuned in, watching this on a Saturday night for 6 weeks, you know what I mean? So,
Wow.
we made some damage, man,
Yeah. And listen, man, I gotta commend you, man. I really gotta commend you the level of confidence and, like you said, knowing exactly what you want. And this is the brand that I've created, that I'm pushing. Not no kind of variation. And if you can't do it, it's just not gonna happen. You stay true to your art form and true to who you are, man. Because if no one I've seen it, guys, I highly recommend Voice UK, TriniBoi Joocie. But man, the place was crazy. I saw your mom. Mama, man.
Listen, I put this into perspective as well. This is what a lot of people don't understand. It's like, this is mainstream television here in the UK, right? That filming was actually done, the first one, when I did Bottle Overhead, and I had the towel, and I said to them, I need more towel. I don't care. This is my culture. This is my expression. This is me emancipating myself. And they were like, with the camera, I said, listen, you will catch it and it will make sense, and this is me performing to white middle class British people who've never heard or seen this genre live in their life. You know what I mean? And that's the reaction I got, I made it to the semifinals, so I made it to the last 6, people. And it was, I think for me, that was just kind of like just stamping one of my achievements, for in regards to, as an advocate for the culture,
Yeah. I'm happy you mentioned that, man, because sometimes when I say certain things, people don't believe me. Because I remember one time I was hosting an event, right? A soca event. And, Pumper, the artist, right? He was,
Yeah.
so the management wanted a case of water. Now, so people who was running the show was non-Caribbean. So the manager wanted a case of water on the stage side, right? So I pretty much understood what was going to take place. So when when they open up the case of water and they realize they start taking off the lid, they hand it over to the artist. They're trying to figure out, why is he taking all this water? Like, what is it? They're not passing on for people to drink. And then he took it and started, wave it in the crowd or whatnot. And the face of the stage manager was the most hilarious thing ever, because he looked so confused at what's taking place. And I say that to say, man, our culture, the way we do things is so different. For us, it seems normal, but for other people, it could be really, more confusing or really taken aback, because we come with a certain level of energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because that is something that I found with the language that they used in the show as well too, like the narrative. They're like, he's so fun. They found it hard to be able to describe it now, to say, he's rich in culture and they found that difficult to say, they were like, he's so fun and he's so good at what he does. And I'm like, there's more to this, and there's different layers, there's artistry, there's so many factors that makes this what it is. I say it hands down, Caribbean people as artist performers, we are one of the best, because of, our history, because of our nature, the way we socialize is a performance. You know what I mean? When we talk, it's a scene. We had a boy. You believe what happened? We had to build the scene, it's and a lot of people don't sometimes. A lot of people, and something I realize is that a lot of people are not in a happy space to accept that.
Yeah, true.
What we do is happy, and people more prefer to gravitate to anger and frustration as opposed to happiness.
Yes, man. If you have a conversation with a Trini, guaranteed to laugh.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a
100%.
sad situation, you'll giggle or trouble, because we make everything fun.
Everything, even down to the worst things, as it's somebody, boy, that man drop out to no boy, and it's like, yo, it's serious.
Yeah.
But it's our nature, we make light of dark moments, Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about Notting Hill Carnival. Explain the difference between, I know the comparison, of course, but what's the vibe like for Notting Hill Carnival compared to, Trinity Carnival and other carnivals? Yeah.
So actually, just to slip this in as well. Also, I did the Queen Platinum Jubilee. So when she got, it was her Jubilee, I actually performed with a 100-piece steel band backing me, orchestra. And I sang in front of Buckingham Palace. This is
Yeah.
just after Ed Sheeran. Yeah, and then she came out on the balcony, and obviously then she come and pass away the year after. But that's another huge achievement from my side, because no other artist, no other Caribbean artist have performed for the Queen Platinum Jubilee, you know. So that's another thing I have under my belt that I'm super proud of. But in regards to Notting Hill Carnival, what makes it different is Notting Hill isn't just solely soca. Is the carnival itself highlights different music genres because it's a reflection of the community over here. However, in recent years, we've gotten a lot more stricter on regards to the root of carnival, where, you know, it's strictly soca music, you know. And then there's sanctions for bands who don't follow that protocol. Notting Hill is, what can I say, boy? What makes Notting Hill unique is, it's like you could go up Labor Grove, which is the main route of carnival. You could turn right to go down by Tavistock Road, and it's drum and bass. You might turn the next road, you can hear reggae. You might turn the next road, you hear in dubstep. You might turn the next road, you hear in grime. You come back around, you hear in soca. You know, so it's you can hear everything within whatever you want to hear. You can go to a particular song system or a place and hear it. And I think that makes it unique.
Yeah, man. Every year, I just a bad ticket. Every year I keep saying, yeah, this year I'm going, this year. I can't reach yet. But for sure, man. When I book the ticket, I'll call you one time and I say, yeah, I'm away, you know.
Of course. Well, I actually have my concert. This would be my consecutively 7th year that I'm doing Juicy Thursday. So Carnival Thursday, I have a concert, which I say is the opening ceremony for Notting Hill.
Nice,
So I
nice.
have a headline concert. I've featured acts. I have special guest artists, different genres come in. So this year,
What date is that this year?
so Juicy Thursday is gonna be the 27th, I believe. So it's the Thursday before Carnival. So the
Okay.
27th. So yeah, August the 27th is Juicy Thursdays. From that is pace right down the road, man.
All right. Yeah, when I get off,
As soon as you're touching, you gotta be ready, you know, because it's got no sleep.
Peace.
It's pace, man. You know what I mean?
All right. Nice, man. All right. So this part of the podcast is called 2000 Questions About Me. I'm not going to ask you 2000 questions, obviously, but I'm going to ask you to pick a number from 1 to 2000. And the number that you pick will be the question that's asked out of this book that I put a couple of years ago. So give me
Okay.
a number 1 to 2000.
1,987.
You like big numbers, but you say what? 1,900, you say?
Yeah, 1,987.
Wait. I'm putting me to work, yes. 1,900 and 1,987.
987.
All right. Yeah, I'm on the wrong page. 87. All right. There we go. All right. 87. 86. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Do you believe in heaven or hell? Do you believe in heaven or hell?
Yes, I do believe in heaven or hell. But I also believe that the heaven, I believe that we are living in heaven and hell right now, if that makes sense. So the way we carry ourselves and what we do in this life here is what would determine the outcome. But I do think that this is what we're living in. We're living in heaven and hell at the moment, you know?
Yeah. Well, all right. TriniBoi Joocie, man. At this point, man, I'm just going to open up the platform. Anything you want to add, before we wrap it up? People can call you and call you about, man.
Yeah, well, firstly, I want to say, thank you for the platform, for the opportunity. I believe platform like yourselves and what you do is outstanding. It's amazing. I do feel that, we need more of these, but quality, podcasts, so yeah, continue to be amazing. Continue to keep, doing what you're doing. I have a lot of music out. You guys can go and stream, go and follow me. That's at TriniBoi Joocie. So TriniBoi Joocie. Follow me, follow the journey. I have a lot of tours. I believe when this comes out by the 8th of February, I'm gonna be flying over to Bahia. I'm doing Bahia Carnival.
Where's that?
Brazil.
Man, nice.
Yeah. This is my second time doing it. So I did it 2 years ago, and it was one of the most eye-opening, high-spirited, experiences of my life, and I appreciate that. So yeah, they booked me again, so I'm gonna be there for a week. I'm performing with one of the big artists over there, with a live band, and then I'm hoping to get some stuff done. But also I have, like a tour date. So I've just been hired to headline a renowned venue over here called Soul Mama,
Okay.
where I'm gonna be headlining it once a month for 5 months from June until October this year. So, and that's again with a live band. It's we have some amazing works, man, some festivals and some other performances. And yeah, the last thing I would just say is, look, guys, not all of our artists are based in the Caribbean. We have a lot of people who advocate and promote the culture outside of the Caribbean, which we need to tap into more. Don't just rely on the artists back home. There might be some in your cities, there might be some within your continent, but check it out, man. There's a lot of talented people out there that just needs that ear to do what they do, you know what I mean? So give them the support, it goes a long way,
But you know what? I'm gonna give an opportunity also to shout out, or maybe you can plug some of the other UK artists that that's out in the UK that's doing works in pushing the culture forward that we may have never heard of before.
Yeah. I mean, one of them, he's actually got a couple of big songs in Trinidad Carnival this year as a writer, and I'm super proud of him. I'm an artist called Pajo, so he wrote the song Pull the Pin for Machel Skinny. So he wrote that. He wrote Party Bag for Anika Berry. He wrote another song for Nessa and Rome. Big up Pajo, he's Guyanese, but he's based here in the UK. And we have another artist called Kaylee, super talented from Antigua. Again, based here. We have another artist, and he's to me is like the top of up there. An artist called Cole Chisel. He's an artist, writer, engineer, super talented. He's one of my right-hand people.
Okay.
Big up to Wetty Beats, who is in Europe as well. Who else, boy? I don't want to miss anybody else. And yeah, there's loads of other artists, in the UK scene, from Scrappies to Chardonnays to the Miss Desires to the Sun Divas to, if I miss anybody, I do apologize. So yeah, there's a lot of people working, putting in the work, man. So big up them, man. Vibes King as well. Big up.
Yeah. Nice. Well, TriniBoi Joocie, man, much appreciation. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, and really, really thanks again, man, for really pushing the culture forward and really flying the flag, internationally, man. And I'm so proud of you. And listen, let's be transparent, man. I gotta tell folks, guys, and this is a teachable moment too, man. This brother actually reached out to me. He sent me a message. I think it was TikTok or one of the places. He sent me a message, and I saw it. Anybody who knows me, man, listen, I'm here to work. He sent a message. I said, okay. I saw the name. It's not familiar, but I wasn't sure who it was. But anyway, I replied. I said, man, let's work. Let's get it done. And then I looked and I said, oh, this TriniBoi Joocie. I bet. And I still like to say, man, I really appreciate, because listen, a lot of people won't do that. Let's be honest. A lot of artists, for some reason or other, they depend on their management. You know what I mean? Or they're like,
egos. Some of them done big. They win Grammy already, so they big. Leave them. That's fine.
Yeah. So
more space for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, look, for me, I'm humble, bro. You know what I mean? And I know what you're doing, and I can see the impacts of collaborating and with quality as well too. You know what I mean? Like, your platform and what you do is of a standard. So of course, I had to. There's no pride in my approach.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. We'll definitely keep the link, man. So once I get off, I'm gonna go on Google Flights and see what the flights look like.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, man, give thanks, man. TriniBoi Joocie.
What's up, man?
Yeah, respect.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap on this episode of the AlonzoBash Podcast. Thank you for tuning in and rocking with us. If you enjoyed today's conversation, leave a comment and let us know your favorite episode so far. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to help the podcast grow. You can catch the AlonzoBash Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even on Amazon Alexa devices. Just ask Alexa to play the AlonzoBash Podcast. Until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and as Alonzo would say, stay focused on your goals and dreams. See you on the next episode.
Yeah.
pension. A sense in happiness, the outer road and the in detention. Loyalty, I could have pack up and leave with no mention. Accountability, but you invest is what you can spend from. Girl, are you for real? What's all this drama for? You blame it on karma. Are you for real? All eyes can see money, so and part. Until we meet the coroner. This pain is real. This pain is real. The stage of the pressure. Now you get quiet like Tesla. It's funny how reality can show you how you messed up. We up and down like addicts, like the next quick fix just missed us. And who don't hear us feel, just look at where we end up. Damn, girl, are you for real? What's all this drama for? You blame it on karma. Are you for real? All eyes can see money, so and part.